Welcome back to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel where you get daily and consistent hot topics in music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As you come into the chat, drop your elephants and your crowns and let me know where you're watching from. And just a sidebar, if you missed it, we were live on my TikTok. We're live on my TikTok right now. And we were live watching the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion part 2 together. We've been doing that since it started last week. So I know some people don't know what TikTok is. I haven't signed up for it. It's a really great platform where I have a really great group of people that follow me there as well. But it's also a great opportunity for us to talk about these shows. All right. Let me take a sip. And as always, if you haven't got your coldest water bottle yet, Christmas is around the corner. Get your coldest water bottle. Discount code KEMP10 for 10% off. And I really use it. I just refilled it. All right, let's get into this reunion, guys. If you follow me on my TikTok, you already heard some of my commentary. As a reminder, don't forget, I will be live with Layla Lynn and Grace Report tomorrow, 1:30 p.m. Eastern, to talk again about Potomac. I believe we are on Grace's channel tomorrow, but if you're subscribed to all, you won't miss it. Be sure to subscribe to my texting community as well. That way you get the notifications for everything that is coming up. You know, Mondays are usually a very busy time on the channel. We will be tomorrow going live on Jason's channel, Down with Jason on YouTube at 12 p.m. Eastern, recapping Salt Lake City. Because I know that's happening right now. It's okay, guys. If you have DVR, you can watch it after the live, okay? You will have an opportunity to call in and share your thoughts as well. And a reminder, a new episode of my podcast is now available. And it's called You're Fired. Okay. Let me bring this mic a little bit closer. All right. Let me see what you guys are saying. All right. H-Town is in the building. What's going on? What's going on? I said Kempire was getting his water together. I was getting my water together. I was getting a lot of things together. Houston's in the house. What's going on? Look, Chris, what wig are you talking about? Wait, do I have my wig set up? What wig are you talking? What wig are you talking about? Sidebar, you know what I forgot to do when I did my recap last week? I went through the entire effort. Of doing this for the live that we did with Layla and Grace, and I forgot to bring this up. This was a hot topic last week of whose forehead is bigger. And I was confused. I was really confused because I was like, wait, didn't Candice have a big forehead? But then I was looking at the pictures and I was like, wait a second. Candice, what kind of tomfoolery magic tree is going on here? They got about the same size forehead. And shout out to you guys that always are texting me and sending things. I literally made this last week and I forgot to use it. Y'all know I come with my notes and my receipts. What's going on, Montreal? Georgia, what's going on? Okay, let me, oh Lord, I'm missing everything. Asata, thank you so much for the super chat. Asatra says, hey, Kempire, I got news to tell you. Faith Evans and CVJ called off their divorce. Just saw it on the on-site post on Instagram. I can't with those two. They're lucky I even reported on it because honestly, I don't even care. I really don't care. I didn't like it that they even got together. Anyways, I had to bring up the receipt of the forehead because that was last week's issue. This week's issue, they covered a lot of different things in this episode. So let's start from the top. All right. Shout out to our Team Kempire and Royal Court members, guys. If you'd like to become a member of the channel, head on over to teamkempire.com. Join the text community at textkempire.com. And shout out to our mods as always. All right. So at the top of this episode, they're talking about Mia, and Mia saying that, you know, her mom wanted to come on the show to really get the awareness out there that you can get over addiction and things like that. And I see that. You know, Candice believes that Mia's mom looked uncomfortable. I didn't think that Mia's mom looked uncomfortable, to be honest with you. I don't think she looked uncomfortable. She looked like someone, this is my first time on reality TV. You know what I mean? Thank you so much, Murray, for supporting the channel and for the super sticker. Appreciate you. Okay. Back to this. So they get into this back and forth, Mia and Candice. We're going to be talking a lot about Candice this episode, okay? And Wendy. So there's this back and forth between Mia and Candice. But I can't defend Mia in this particular instance. The social media manager, her saying that she needs to watch her back to Candice, that she needs to watch her back. I was like, what? Are we going to the gutter now again? Look, y'all know I'm a straight shooter. Pow, 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 pow. I didn't like that, Mia. I did not like that. But I do love the fact that Karen stood up. And what Karen said to me was the mature way of handling the situation was that Candice, she says that, ladies, the other ladies don't cut to the bone. And there is some unseen footage that they show in this episode where Karen says that, what did she say to Giselle? She called her a drunk, that told her that she said that she used drugs. But you know what it is? They're able to own it and apologize for it. Candice just does not own it ever. She does not own it ever. All right, let me just say thank you before these super chats disappear. Again, let me thank Tom. Thank you so much for the super chat. Oh, wait, I forgot to shimmy for the super chat. Sorry. I'm watching Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Is Jenny being unbothered about Jen's arrest and Meredith in the tub being unbothered about Jen's arrest? I can't wait to watch it. Thank you so much for the super chat. And that super chat made me laugh, so thank you for that too. Okay. Obi says that's came out of left side of Mia's lips. Candice, watch your back, girl. I know. I didn't like that. April, thank you so much. Yeah, she called her a drug addict and a drunk. Yes, I did. I should be. Karen says, I love the episode. Guys, if you just joined us, we're talking about the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion part 2. As you know, the last hour of the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion will be all about Nicki Minaj. If you missed the video that I posted earlier where Andy Cohen drops tea on various cities that fall under the Real Housewives franchise, be sure to check that out. We talk about Nicki Minaj in the hour that she's there. I'm not going to talk about it here, but stay tuned for that. Of course, they go into everything that Candice was saying about Mia during the season, including the body shaming and Mia. I did a report. I don't know. Was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? Mia's talking about she thought she was coming on the show for Beverly Hills Vibes, and it was something completely different. She didn't like the body shaming, but they address Mia being a social media disaster. I don't know if I would say that Mia is a social media disaster. Is she a disaster? I mean, I don't know. I do think that she's a mess, but a disaster? But she doesn't even own it. She doesn't even own it in this particular instance. She owns it in the reunion, but she didn't own it before. She blamed it on a social media manager. And she says the social media manager is someone that she's known for a very long time. They understand her. They think like she does. Didn't she let that social media manager go? Let me see. Mia is a Sasquatch lie. No, she's not. Red Phoenix says, I'm sure she watched the show. A lot of these ladies watched the show, including Candice. If you watch the Potomac, there we go, guys. That's better. If you watch the TikTok that we were just doing, I was saying this about Candice bringing up things from the past when she was not on the show. You normally don't see that on the Real Housewives, reunions. And I get it. We can do that. But you can see that she studied and got herself ready for this reunion with receipts from the past. And honestly, she didn't watch the show. Some people said she watched it on Hulu. No, I literally think she watched YouTube videos where people were pointing out these instances, or she looked at Twitter and people were pointing out the instances where the ladies were being hypocritical in their thoughts on Candice, which I can appreciate. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, you're a fan. Look, you're a fan. Omar says, Kempire Mama Dot looks uncomfortable every time she's around Chris. What's her point? Yeah, that's true. I don't know if it's uncomfortable is the right word for Mama Dot. It might be. Maybe because she knows that Chris doesn't like her. Rightfully so. Right? Rightfully so. She said some really nasty things about Chris. If that was my mother-in-law, I'd be like this every time I saw her. back to this. Mia being a disaster on Twitter. Andy says that she's a disaster on Twitter. Some of you don't believe that she's necessarily a disaster on Twitter. She's a mess on Twitter. She could do better on Twitter. But a disaster? I don't know. That's a big word. And this is just her first season. But she owns it in the moment, says, yeah, I'm a disaster. I'm a disaster. Candice was like, you did this 5 years ago. Why can't I do it? It's true. When you put it like that, Amy, when you put it like that, you're like, but we already know Candice has a very immature attitude. Candice really does like to sort of like, you know what I mean? It's very immature. It's very immature. And one of the things, I think she's a mess. I think she's a mess. One of the things that I said on TikTok, and I'm going to reiterate it here, and I've said this before here on the channel, and I know a lot of people are invested in these shows, and I think that's great. That's great especially for people that comment on it and have a business talking about hot topics or reality TV. We want people to be invested. Andy wants you to be invested in the show. He wants strong opinions. But sometimes, a lot of the times, we take it way too far. We go from it being light shade and light fun to this very dark, separating place. And I really want to at least be one of the voices that says we need to stop that. We need to stop getting so invested in people that we don't know. You don't know these people. And I'm speaking to the choir, I know. But we don't know these people, and threatening people online, threatening these women online. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Candice. I don't care if it's Robin. I don't care if it's Mia. That's got to stop. That has got to stop. Light shade, fun, whatever. Yes, fun. But the way that people are dragging this, as I said to you before, there were people tagging me and stuff like, you're biased and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, because I have a right to be biased. I have a right. I'm not a journalist. You're not watching CNN. Just saying. Tom, thank you so much for another super chat. He says, sorry, spoiler, Meredith just revealed she has video footage of Jen's employees stealing from Meredith's store. Tom, why are you doing the spoiler alerts? I don't mind the spoiler, though. So thank you for the super chat. At least you put it in the super chat. Thank you. Let me shimmy. Shantae, thank you so much for the super chat. Let me just get to the super chats before I lose them. Carlos, King, and Monique have been in Mia's IG comments, so that kept people interested. Okay. All right. Of course, Monique was brought up again in this episode. Of course, they don't mention her name, but she's brought up again. We will get there. But I do like what Karen was saying in the regards to how her and Giselle handle the shade. Yes, they do go below the belt sometimes. But at the same time, they're able to own it and they're able to get over it. And they also understand what the show is about. And then we have that really heartfelt moment between Karen and Giselle gets emotional because you're like, no matter what's going on between us, when she came to my house, she hugged on my girls. And she got really emotional about that. And I felt that in that moment because we do know that Giselle and Karen knew each other before the show. Were they the best of friends? No. And are they best of friends now? No. But still, they were able to get over that and they were able to understand the assignment. This is what, when people say understand the assignment, this is two women that understand the assignment. Because you can have fun shade, but you also understand that this is still a show that's supposed to be entertainment and not divisive. So I can appreciate that moment that they had. They even end up hugging. I think that was a nice moment. Hold on. Murray. Oh, sorry, Murray. Here's a shimmy. All right. Cheeky says, Carlos King is consistently in Mia's chats, which makes me question why Mia came for Candice. Carlos is like, why are y'all putting me in it? LG says, I didn't take Ashley making a comment about her having dry hair as colorism. I'm sure Ashley knows that she is on multiple scenes looking like an uncombed poodle. Oh God, you guys. We will get to that conversation because I thought that conversation, and I'm glad that Ashley was the one to say, let's talk about this. because I know that she probably is getting a lot of backlash from people online about it. And I'm glad that she was like, no, we need to talk about this because you're not going to put out there this idea that I'm being a colorist. We'll get there though. We got to talk about Ascala though. Do I have a picture of Ascala? Oh yeah, I do. Oh, Ascala. Ascala wanted to have a moment. Ascala, we did not need you printing out the receipts, not even in color. Ascala didn't even print out these receipts in color. Ascala wanted to have a moment. She got a little bit of a moment last week. This week, she got a little bit of a moment. Mia was like, y'all brought her out for these 2 sentences? Y'all brought her out for these 2 sentences? Oh, mind you, Ascala didn't even say anything. That would have been a perfect moment, Ascala, to say something so you can get at least a 3rd sentence in. Ah. Okay, wait, I'm a straight, so hold on. Let me go back up. Ascala added nothing, but then April says, leaves Ascala alone. I'm going to leave Ascala so alone that I'm not going to talk about her anymore after this episode and after this season. Bloop. Thank you, Obi, for the super chat. Obi says, while we're trying to have a funeral for Robin's hair, can anyone enlighten us on Ascala's purpose on this reunion? I could learn a thing or two. Okay, Obi, I was trying not to talk about her anymore, but thank you for the super chat. Here's your shimmy. And that's it. No more. We're not talking about it. Okay. Let me go back to my notes. Blah, 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 because I didn't want to talk about. So they talk about Giselle and Karen's friendship, as I said to you before, and Karen apologizes to Hampton University for calling Giselle a broken whore from Hampton University. Shout out to Hampton University. But we do know that all the ladies, if you've been watching the show, have gone below the belt, have gone to the bone, sometimes in these moments that are unnecessary. But Giselle brings up, so this is where we're starting to see the fight between Giselle and Wendy occur. Because Giselle says that Wendy looked at her daughter Grace cockeyed, but then they roll the footage and it doesn't look like Wendy's looking at the daughter cockeyed, but maybe she wanted Wendy to look at her daughter in a more loving way, but she doesn't really know her daughter. Not the same way that Karen does. I thought that was interesting. But she didn't look at her cockeyed. And according to Giselle, all of Grace's friends were saying, oh, she was looking at you funny. I'm like, I don't think so, but everyone's interpretation is going to be different. But I'm glad that Bravo decided to roll the tape in that moment, because I was like, she did? Let me see what you guys are saying. She didn't. Wendy just blinks. But that's the thing. Everyone's interpretation of the show, everyone's interpretation of these ladies is very different. If you read Twitter, if you read the comment section, everyone's interpretation is very different of these ladies, the situations. Life is perception, y'all. But don't get so wrapped up in it that you become so hateful, because it's more a reflection about yourself than it is about the ladies on the show, myself, or anyone else that comments on it. Just saying. And I'm not talking to the people that are in the chat, because the people in the chat, subscribers only chat, y'all. You know we do this every Sunday, subscribers only chat. Last week, it was a members only chat. We do that at least once a month. So shout out to our Team Kempire and Royal Court members. Back to this, though. We have over 700 and something people watching. Be sure to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting the channel. TikTok, be sure to tap your screens. That's another way of supporting what we're doing here. Queen says, Wendy literally didn't do anything. Exactly. In that moment, I was like, did she look at her cockeyed? Did I miss something? Because you blink once and you might miss something on these shows. But I'm glad that they rewound the tape. Okay. But Wendy, in that moment, apologizes to Grace. Wendy apologizes to Grace. She also brings up, when it comes time, you need to Giselle, you're going to need to apologize to her kids. They talk about Ashley and, Ashley really didn't have a lot of moments this season. We've talked about it week after week, but she understood the assignment when necessary. And in this reunion, I have to say, Ashley, you know, some people come at Ashley, but Ashley really stood up in this moment and defended herself, especially when Candice was sort of saying to her, "Oh, you lay on your back for your money, and you know all your money comes from Michael." She was like, "I've been making money before you on this couch," and I was like, "Oh, okay, Ashley, come in with the OG energy." She came in with the OG, and don't forget, Ashley is an OG on this show. I was here for it. And as I said to you before, Ashley was the one who said, okay, we need to talk about colorism because Candice says that, oh, you're talking about me body shaming you, but when you say my dry hair, oh, as a Black woman, that's offensive to me. And then Ashley's like, that happens to me too. So the conversation of colorism comes up. Wendy, of course, chimes in and says, she asks Ashley the question, do you think colorism exists within this group? Ashley says, no, I don't. I believe that what's happening out in the world there is colorism, but I don't believe it's in this group. I don't know if I believe that, honestly, because I've said before, I do believe there is a level of colorism on this show over the years. However, I do feel that Candice is trying to weaponize that and get everybody stirred up. And especially in that particular moment about dry hair. And I know plenty of mixed people, even some white people that have dry hair. So her using that as an issue of colorism, I was like, don't do that. Don't do that. Our community is separated enough. This whole use and weaponizing of colorism has to stop. It has to stop. We know that colorism is real. But you know what's even more real? Racism. And somehow we've gone from what's happened over the pandemic when it comes to racism to colorism. And now we're separating ourselves instead of having a more focused attention on people that are dying at the hands of the police. We've gone away from that to fighting over housewives. Okay, as I said to you before, colorism is real. No one's denying that. But when you weaponize it in a way that's not colorism, I can't have your back on that. I can't. Rafia says dry hair is colorism. According to Candice, Kutaman, thank you so much for the super chat. I miss when the show used to be fun. It's been so dark and serious. It drains me. And I'm not against the show talking about colorism because, you know, when we were talking about RHONY, so many people, specifically white people, were like, oh, why are we talking about race? So I don't want it to be like, oh, no, we can't talk about race. We can't talk about serious issues on the reality show. But let's talk about it when it is an actual issue. What's happening in RHONY is an actual issue on and off camera. So the issue of, and like I said to you before, and I've said this many other times, Candice bringing up colorism was only after Wendy brought it up. And now Candice does not have her own mind. Candice does not have her own mind. I don't care what y'all say about, oh, you just don't like Candice. I don't like the fact that Candice don't have her own mind. Everything she's been using has been used on blogs, on YouTube, on Twitter. What do you believe, Candice? That's what I want to know. What do you believe? All right. Donna says Candice needs to grow up. She does, because Candice has a breakdown when she's talking about Ashley, and I get it. The fact that Ashley wrote a statement for Monique, I can see how that is hurtful. And it's hard to move on from something like that. But I also feel that Candice uses her tears and her tantrums to try to manipulate people, to feel sorry for her. As I said to you before, I do believe that is hard to get over. However, they have had moments. They were hanging out in New York. They were hanging out in LA recently. She genuinely does like Ashley. But at the same time, Ashley is hurt that she is still friends with Monique. She's also still hurt that Karen is friends with Monique. And there are a lot of people very much like Ashley that believes, oh, my enemy should be your enemy. That's not a mature way to look at life, to be honest with you. Especially when these are your coworkers. They're not your real friends. Let's be real. They're not your real friends. You should be able to get over the fact that they're still friendly with Monique. If they were your ride or die, I could get that. Like, How are you still friends with this girl after she dragged me on national television? I get that, but they're not. They are your associates. They are your coworkers. Let's be real. Oh, hold on. Did I miss a super chat? Kahneman, I read your super chat. Kahneman, I did read your super chat. I miss when the show used to be fun. It's been so dark and serious, it drains me. Grace says, well, Wendy just tweeted out everybody called her when her daughter was in the ICU, everyone but Giselle. Again, they're coworkers. When you're coworkers, the good coworkers will reach out if your daughter is sick. Just saying. Hold on. Victoria says, no, Wendy be holding Candice accountable at times, just like tonight. Wendy, wait. No, Wendy be holding Candice accountable at times, just like tonight. Wendy ain't charging her up. I think you mean she's not holding Candice accountable. We haven't seen her holding her accountable. Oh, sad news. You know, we've been following the Travis Scott story and the 9-year-old that was being held by his father on his shoulders during the show. He was in an induced coma. He's passed away. So thank you, Danielle, for letting us know. That's very, very sad. That will be the 10th victim from the Travis Scott situation, the stampede, the amount of deaths that already come out from that. So that's really, really sad. Rest in peace to him. I know I know there have been so many people critical of the father bringing him to this concert. Regardless of that, he just lost his son. So prayers out to the family. 9 years old. 9 years old. Oh, Lord. Again, perspective. While people are on Twitter, on social media, arguing about these housewives, and I mean, really arguing about these housewives, a 9-year-old just lost his life. So again, prayers to the family. Very, very sad. Very, very sad. And the people that were there that experienced that, the horror and the trauma that they're going through still from that. Okay. Let me see what did I not address so far? Because guys, we have over 900 people watching. Let's get to 300 likes. Let's get to 300 likes. Mods, can you just I can actually look. Hold on, I have my screen open. Yeah, let's get to 300 likes. I'll drop the call-in link for you guys to call in and share your thoughts on part 2 of the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion. If you just joined us, shout out to everyone. Everyone's sending their prayers for the family of the 9-year-old that was in a coma after the stampede at Travis Scott's Astroworld Festival in Houston, Texas. Was it just last weekend? I can't even keep up with everything. All right. Okay. All right, so the entire cast of the Real Housewives of Potomac disliked the video. we have 5 dislikes, which is okay. I hope y'all know y'all don't hurt me when y'all dislike the video. Y'all don't hurt. Effie, thank you so much for the super chat. There's definitely colorism on this show, and Wendy probably has a better argument when it comes to how she's treated versus the other women. I agree. And as I said to you before, Wendy was the one who originally brought it up, and I feel like Candice is now jumping on the bandwagon on this topic, to be honest with you, because she never brought it up before. Libra, thank you. That's a great question. How do you rate this reunion? It was a solid part 2. It was better than part 2 of last year's reunion. It was a solid part 2 because I feel like they covered a lot of different areas, especially when I'm glad that they did talk about colorism. And I'm glad that Ashley was the one who said, no, we need to talk about this. And I think the reason why is because she's getting a lot of backlash because of it. Toya, thank you so much for the super chat. Wait, I forgot to shimmy for y'all. Shimmy. Thank you. She says, y'all remember these shows are for entertainment purposes only. Don't get so caught up. Sit back and enjoy the craziness. Rest in peace, baby boy. Thank you so much, Toya. And thank you for the reminder. Yeah. I feel like a lot of people get so caught up in this. And then when you hear about a 9-year-old losing his life, it's like perspective, people. Perspective. I'm not going to anyone that mentions the name that shall not be named, the friend of from this season. I'm not mentioning her for the rest of the season. I don't know how that's going to work, especially when I have a recap with Layla Lynn and Grace tomorrow. All right, let me drop the call-in link because I know you guys always have a lot to say. Again, guys, we have almost 1,000 people in the chat. Almost 1,000 people in the chat. Be sure to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting the channel. It is a subscribers only live chat tonight. You know, we do that every night, not every night, every Sunday evening when we do the Real Housewives of Potomac. I don't know what will we have. We don't. I can't even speak. We'll only have Salt Lake City on Sundays, right? We got to figure out what we're gonna talk about or do, or maybe I'll have Sundays off. Go figure. Can I get a Sunday off? All right, let me drop this call-in link. TikTok, keep tapping your screens. Let's get some more people in here that love the Real Housewives of Potomac. Let me just cover some of the other stuff that they talk about in here. So, of course, they do Wendys Package. And when I say package, that's just a collection of what happened for that particular housewife during the season. Of course, they talk about the ladies talking about her body. Robin, we didn't get a lot of Robin the first episode. We got a little bit more of Robin in this episode. And honestly, I feel for Robin because I do believe that Robin feels affected by the friendship change between her and Wendy. And I get what she's saying. She might have used the wrong words when she was addressing this with Wendy, but I do believe that Robin feels genuinely like, no, I felt like your personality was completely different. So I do believe that Robin is genuine in this moment. I don't know about Giselle. And Wendy does go over the things that she's gotten done, but it's everything that we thought she got done. She got her boobs done, lifted, and implants, and she got a BBL where they take the lipo from your stomach and they put it in your booty. She's got good work. Wendy looks amazing. But a lot of people are speculating that she's done something to her face. I don't know. Maybe she has. Maybe a little Botox. Botox. Who knows? All right. Wendy, I did like Wendy's response to her rehearsed reads. She's like, I read down the, White House secretaries. So I'm glad you guys think that my reads are so rehearsed, are so eloquent that they seem rehearsed. I was like, okay, Wendy. All right. I hear you. And before I start taking callers, the Eddie rumors come up. And Robin calls a non-credible blog, and then Annie calls a non-credible blog all about the tea they're talking about. They're the ones who brought up the Eddie rumors. Here's the thing. I don't know if you can call them a non-credible blog when Bravo has been citing them. Bravo has been citing them, not just on Potomac, but on Beverly Hills. So are they not that credible? If Bravo is citing them throughout the season multiple times? I'm just saying. Oh, goodness. I mean, are there any really credible blogs? Look. No, there are. I'm joking. I'm being facetious. Calm down. All right. Let me open up the timer because I already know because people have thoughts and opinions. So I'm opening up this timer. You have 2 minutes to get your point across. Guys, when you call in, let me know your name and where you're calling from. We're trying to make it a thing. Let's pretend it's the radio. That's where I come from. All right. Miss Wittana says, is it media takeout? No, they're talking about all about the tea. They literally showed all about the tea headline in this live, in this reunion. So, yeah. Okay. Yes, we do have a full backstage. So callers, be sure to drop out once you have been pulled up to share your opinion. All right, let's go. And as always, she's first in line. I should make her last, but she's first in line. Danielle, what's going on, Danielle?
No, you didn't say you should make me last.
You said it before. You said you should just pull me up last.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I wouldn't even be upset because it gives me an opportunity. Because every time I hang up, I'm then yelling at the computer screen to what everyone else is saying afterwards. Like, well, wait a minute. What about this? What about this? So I would
drop you. All right.
You know what? And I'm going to keep real sweet and short tonight. Okay. So,
Start.
hello, I'm Danielle. I'm calling from the Elite DMV. And what else are we supposed to
say? No, that's it.
Okay. Okay. So one, I want Candice, or I hope that Candice is sitting back watching these reunions and taking the clips, not even the clips, but taking tonight's episode and paying attention to what Giselle and Karen were trying to say to her. I feel like, to Andy's point, they were trying to give her some big sister moments, and she didn't. She hasn't opened up her mind or her heart to receive them. And until she does that, she is going to stay the same little immature person that we're seeing on this screen, and it's very unfortunate. And I don't know how far she's going to get with this closed mind mentality. I did like the clip where they showed Wendy going into her hotel room trying to check on her and trying to say to her, hey, you need to pay attention to what they're saying, because this is what Wendy was kind of trying to check her. She was being really nice about it. But Candice, again, thinks that she's not wrong with what she does. And Candice, it's not that we don't want you to use your words. It's not that we don't want you to come with the crudiness. But at some point, when do you stop? And for her to pinpoint when everyone else has done it doesn't make it right. The difference is, and Jay and I said this last week, Giselle and Karen have been friends for a long time. So the digs don't hit the same way they hit from someone you're just meeting. Candice goes for the jugular. Giselle and Karen know how to dig being shady because they're true friends. Candice is not a true friend. Candice is not a true friend to, even though she was introduced by Ashley, she's not Ashley's friend. It just made sense that Ashley introduced her because of the whole pageantry thing. Okay. The whole colorism with the dry hair, Candice, give me a break. Everyone knows that Ashley's hair is not the best hair. And it's your, I'm not going to say traditional, but at least Ashley said, I have dry hair too. And we've seen it. Ashley's hair is not like she fried, dyed, laid to the side. It's not the best. It's traditional. Can't say traditional biracial hair because it's not traditional, but she suffers from dry hair as well. So for Candice to try to use that as some colorism, I don't see it. Wendy coming with the colorism, when you said it, like, I'm not going to say it doesn't exist on this show, but I'm wondering, what did Wendy experience, one, and was it more so, and I guess I'm wondering, was it production that she experienced the colorism with, or was it the actual ladies? Because if it's the ladies, was it them more so, just picking with her because she was new last season? Yeah. Or was it a production?
I need her to point it out. I want her to point it out.
I need her to be specific with what color, where did she experience colorism on this show, on this city, and what was it? Who did it? Like, I need you to tell Wendy. You can't just come say something like that and not come with the
serious like that. That's a very serious accusation.
A very serious accusation, and you can't just drop that bomb and walk away. Yeah. Mia with the social media thing.
Your time is up, madam.
Okay, bye.
Trying to be fair. Bye. Okay, Danielle, thank you so much for calling in. All right, Chris, I'm going to bring you up. What's going on, Chris?
Nothing, but I'm Kristin. I'm calling from North Carolina. I come to keep it surface level and fun. For me, and even on the TikTok live, I was saying the same thing. It was that wig of Candice's for me. It gave very much Velma from Scooby-Doo, Jada Pinkett Smith. Just look at it. And for me, it was her crying about Ashley writing that statement for Monique almost 1.5 to 2 years ago. It was that. Like, they brought it up again. And I have to say, Monique is an icon for her to keep making the show, and she's nowhere near on the show. I like the moment that Giselle and Karen had when they made up. That was really good to see. Mia, she's here or there at this point. She didn't really pull my eye. Yeah. And it's not being shady. It's just, she wasn't really, Wendy is Wendy. I'm glad she got her front seat. Maybe now, hey, it was Candice for me. That's about all I can say. And I'm surprised she hasn't got her sponsorship from Kleenex, Charmin tissue, because her tears, like, she can work it. I'm telling you. And her makeup never smears. So shout out to her MUA. because it's never smearing, nothing ever comes off. But now her hairstyle, we can get that wig together, and I'm gonna stop there.
Chris, and under 2 minutes. Chris, thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you.
Bye. All right, Nia, I'm gonna bring you up. What's going on, Nia?
Hi, I'm Nia and I'm calling from South Florida.
What's going on? What are your thoughts?
Nothing. So I thought it was a pretty decent episode. I like that basically Karen and Giselle. I really like their relationship, even though they shade each other, but I like how they're able to, catch back, or like, how do they say, like, jump back to where they were before. And I feel
Yeah.
like Giselle really does feel like they have a relationship. So I feel like for Giselle, her thing is how you treat her children, and how you treat her children is everything for her. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
So I see that. So I think when you treat her children away, it doesn't matter how you treat her, it's always going to make her feel good. And I think that's what any mom.
yeah.
Um, so that was pretty good. As far as, the whole Wendy, Candice does use the colorism thing. I said this many times before. Candice goes off what other YouTubers said and things like that, and she reiterates for what she has. I kind of understand what Ashley was saying when she said she didn't feel like colorism was being played in the group because of how the show is set up. You
Mm,
understand what I'm saying? How they go catty at each other and how they point out certain things. You understand what I'm saying?
mhm.
So most
And
of
which
the
is
time she's not,
encouraged.
yeah, so and exactly. So most of the times you're not thinking about how that could be looked at as wrong,
Mm,
because that is true though, because us from outside, we see things differently. We're on the outside while they're in the moment, and in the moment you may not see it then and there, and then you have to watch it and then be like, oh, okay, you know what I'm saying?
mhm,
So I can kind of get what Wendy says, and then I kind of don't, because when Wendy came in on 10. You understand what I'm saying? That whole
mhm.
professor thing, she did use it a lot. Like,
Yeah.
you call me doctor, you know what I'm saying? Like, you use it to your advantage. And so, yes, it's like, it's two different things. I feel like Robin was being genuine, but I want to see how this goes on. I just feel like at this point, I don't see where all the heat is for why Robin is getting so much heat.
Yeah.
Robin said what she said. I felt like it was genuine, and it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't like them, they don't like you, they feel this way, cut it. Like, why are we, it feels like at this point to me, kind of, it feels too much.
Yeah. Yeah. Nia, thank you so much for calling in.
No problem. You have a nice night.
You too. Bye. I love this, and this is why I love our community, because you guys have different opinions. Some are similar to mine, some are not. If you have a different opinion about this, I have posted the call-in link. Let me post it again, and let me pin it, because I forgot to pin it last time. And we have over 1,000 people watching, guys. Be sure to like the video if you haven't liked it already, and don't forget, a new podcast episode, Kempire Radio, on all major podcast platforms. I drop tea there that I don't talk about anywhere else, and I talk a little bit differently. I talk a little bit differently there, just a little bit. All right, let me just pin this, and we're going to take some more callers. Hold on, I just wanted to highlight some of the chats. Yes, Chris, praying for the family, loved ones, and friends of the 9-year-old who passed away following the Travis Scott concert. Definitely, thank you for that. Okay. D Woods, I'm going to bring you up. What's going on, D Woods?
Am I coming in clear? I
Yes,
said, no, am I coming in clear?
very clear.
Where did I get that from?
I don't know. Where'd you get that from?
Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh, I can't with you. What are your thoughts on this episode?
Okay, so number one, I didn't like how everyone let Mia slide with lying. I felt like nobody said anything. They were just sitting there like, yeah, you got caught up, and everybody didn't even bat an eye. Like, nobody said anything. I didn't like that.
Yeah.
Like, hold everybody accountable, right?
Yeah.
Number two, I didn't like how they said it's okay to say mean things as long as you make it humorous. So I can say, oh, you're a crackhead. Ha 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 ha. Oh, you're an alcoholic. Ha ha. As long as I make it funny, I can say these things. Because that's what Karen said. She's a hypocrite. Like, she is the number one hypocrite on this show. So it's weird. Like, I'm like, so as long as I make it funny, I can say these things about you. I can call you a whore, a broken whore. And that's not down in the gutter by calling you a broken whore. That's not worse than saying your mama's low budget.
Well, your mom. I know how everyone keeps bringing up the Your Mama, but I don't think the Your Mama has been Candace's most vicious thing that she's.
I don't
I think that definitely was light for Candace.
Yes, it was very light. So I'm like, come on. Also, about Wendy pinpointing when she experienced colorism. She doesn't have to do that because we all see it. Mm-hmm. We all see it. So why does she have to tell us when she experienced it? It's clear as day.
Well, I think it's fair if it's not clear to the group, point it out, because you want people to point it out if you're experiencing something in the group and they don't necessarily see it.
Well, that's true. But
you know what I mean? Because how do you make it better if you don't point it like, oh, I didn't realize me saying that makes you feel like I'm being colorist.
But they had that same conversation last season with Monique. So
and Monique didn't believe that when that issue of colorism came up. Monique didn't believe it was colorism either.
Well, she's psycho, so I mean, I wouldn't expect much from
Monique. You don't need to call her names.
Okay, well, she's weird. I'm sorry, Kempire. Also, last thing, does anybody know what the actual definition of accountability is? Like, do you want the show? Candice, right? Do you want Candice to say I'm sorry, or you want her to be held accountable? Because I think that she's taking accountability by not apologizing. So y'all want her to apologize and to say sorry. She is not sorry for the things that she has done. Those are two different things. Mm-hmm. Accountability, she's being held accountable. She's just not saying sorry and backing down. That's something different. So I just want people to be mindful of what the definition of accountability is. Just say you want her to say sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I
mean, that's
really we appreciate you calling in.
No problem. Bye.
Bye. You see how D Woods and I had a conversation and it wasn't combative? We can have a conversation. We may not agree, but we can have a conversation. And that's what we do here on the channel. We have over 1,000 people watching. Don't forget to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting the channel. Let's get to Amy's backstage. What's going on, Amy?
Hey. What's going on, y'all? Hey, Kempire.
Wait, Amy, where are you calling from?
From the DMV. Hey, Danielle. I love her responses. You should let her finish. Anyway.
I gotta be fair.
I know. I've just been sitting here analyzing and really sitting here thinking about like the whole reunion. And it's not that I don't agree sometimes with Candice and Wendy, but I feel like they want to make it an us against them situation. And that's what I'm kind of it's turning me off. Because it's like, I just want them to have like, what do you say? Tie the loose ends and just end the discussion. I feel like they can go on and on like they're in a courtroom fighting that case to the Supreme Court. I don't need all that. Like they can go to such an extreme to me arguing their case. That
someone in my TikTok said divisive.
Yeah, sometimes it's like Mia did the best example of it. Everybody keeps saying Mia got under the radar. No, Mia just dodged bullets. She literally knows she's a liar. So what did she do? She just like, you guys are right, y'all. Let's move on. She literally dodged a bullet of sitting there, and they kept trying to put her under the flame, but she had enough sense to know to just shut up. The thing is, it's like, Candice, you're dead ass wrong, baby. I love you. You're wrong. Stop arguing like you're arguing a case of reparations. Girl, stop. It's not that serious. You could be wrong. You could say, okay, everybody see it. I don't see it, but thank you for, that's it. Yeah. I mean, okay, I think if I hurt you, it's not that deep. Karen and Giselle cried. That was a big moment for me. Yeah. They don't like each other. They do not like each other. And I was like, oh my God, they are understanding. It's time to close the book on the fight. Yeah. If they can do it, my golly. Wendy.
Yeah. But they even own the fact that they will be shady to each other again.
Yes. And can we just get you all to just end this story for now? I don't need Ascala. You are not Monique. You are not the new Monique. She'll be back if she wants to come back. You can't be that. Wendy, we don't need no notes. We had the binder last year. We're doing something new. I need for you all to end your beef so we can start a new beef for the next year. And let's have a good time. That's all. I'm done.
Amy, thank you so much for calling in.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Nia, I just want to say thank you for the super chat. I got a shimmy for Nia. Thank you. And look, in a year from now, they're going to say the fact that I'm shimming is problematic. So prepare yourselves. All right, Nia, thank you so much for the super chat. She says, Monique didn't believe it because of how Wendy was coming for her. Wendy was holding up the same principles as the other women, but behind closed doors understood why she did it. Now the same thing is happening to Wendy. All right, let me just hold on, take this off. Omar says, my question to Wendy, my question is Wendy never answered the question about Eddie. Did he cheat or nah? Well, maybe Nicki Minaj in the final hour, in part 4, maybe she'll get to the bottom of it because she does ask about the whole booty models that he was following that he unfollowed, over 200 and something. Okay. Judgy Justice, it's your turn. Are you ready, Judgy Justice? What's going on, Judgy Justice?
Hey, nothing much. I'm just excited to get this in because then this is my last thing before I shower and go to bed.
Justice, do you mind taking out the headphones? Because I think that makes the sound a little buzzy.
Okay, hold on.
I'm sorry.
All right, how about that?
So much better. So much better. Go ahead.
So basically, honestly, I feel like I'm just like becoming a Candice stan this season because I'm like, I don't see all the things that are wrong. I'm like, I see other people do them, and then the fact that like she brings them up, like, I feel like Wendy didn't bring the proof, but I feel like Candice is bringing the receipts. Well, you said this and you said that. And honestly, I feel like it comes down to the fact that like they don't like her. Just say you don't like me. Because then it's like
you're trying to push her out like they pushed out Monique.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's to a level is that. And also I think it's a level of like, I hate to say it, jealousy in a sense, because her other stuff is becoming more successful. She, her album, I say this every time when I'm on a live, it was charted number 4 on the iTunes, and they're still not giving her her accolades. And I just feel like they're always trying to like pin this stuff on her, but yet everybody else can get away with
on Ellen. You're welcome, Candice.
I'm sorry.
And she's performing on Ellen this week.
Yes, yeah, I saw that too. So it's like, I think another thing is like they keep trying to like they want to get an exact answer out of her, but yet everybody else can get away with these BS answers or BS responses. And it's like, no, well, I want to. And then the whole colorism question was like, why ask Ashley? Out of everybody else here, why ask Ashley, the most, racially ambiguous person on the stage?
Who do you think that Wendy should have asked? Because remember, Ashley's the one who said, no, we need to talk about colorism.
It was actually Andy that asked Ashley.
Right? Andy asked Ashley what? No, it was Wendy.
It was Wendy?
It was Wendy. She said, Wendy asked the question, do you think... I
only got a chance to watch it once today. So.
Oh, okay. Well, it was Wendy who asked the question. Of course, Andy chimed in. He's like, yeah, do you think there's colorism in the group? But it was Wendy who asked the question.
Yeah, okay. So, okay, I wasn't all the way wrong. Okay, I was like, what's going on in my head? But the thing was that I think that it should have been a question asked to maybe Karen or Giselle, because I felt like they would actually have a bigger experience, especially with like Giselle being at a HBCU. She would have a deeper understanding of this colorism issue, and her 50 years of life.
They could have chimed in. It's a reunion.
Yeah, they could have chimed in, and then I don't appreciate this excuse that Andy gave. Right now they're trying to give you this big sister advice. Well, the big sister advice could have happened right after me. Giselle said what she said to me, because again, Candice was the only one that stayed after to hang out in Giselle's hotel and hang out with her for a minute. That could have been a great big sister moment. Hey, you know what, girl? Mia told me X, Y, and Z about her past. I don't think seeing your mama is going to be a good thing. That would have been a big sister moment. Again, you're trying to wait till after all this dirt is done and then be like, oh, well, I'm here for you. No, you're not. Because if you were here for me, you would be here for me in these moments telling me, hey, you know what? You may want this topic's not it. And even when they were trying to like even say like at the Eastern Shore place, like, oh, don't go again. Again, nobody said again, like flat out, Wendy, hey, don't talk about her mom. Her mom's crackhead. Stop talking about her mama. And I don't appreciate the fact that they keep trying to say, like, oh, I can call her Hampton Hoe because me and her know each other like that. We just call each other hoes. That's not fair. Like, and I don't know any friends that just call each other broke down hoes. That's not real friendship to me. So I think they keep trying to push all this stuff onto Candice, and it's not fair. And I really wish that like Candice and Wendy would actually be solidified for real in their friendship and like in solidarity to go against. And also I want Candice and Ashley to bury this hatchet because y'all
rumor has it is that they have.
I pray to God they have, because literally if I have to hear about this overseer tweet or hamster tweet or whatever tweets went back and forth or dry hair, I'm going to flip out, because it's like you guys are coming at each other for the most pettiest things when you guys should be standing strong together and coming at the people who've said stuff about your families and husbands, which is Robin and Giselle, the no wedding band bandits. Why are y'all still fighting each other? Y'all need to go out
on that one.
Huh?
You've been sitting on that.
I say that like once a month on this live. Once a month. But thank you so much.
I have to let you go to a long line backstage. I appreciate you calling in.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. All right, guys. Let's take the next caller. Again, guys, don't forget to let me know your name and where you're calling from, even though I know who this next caller is. Bernice, you got to still do it. What's going on, Miss Bernice?
Hey, Kempire. This is Miss Bernice. I'm from Detroit. Hello. What's up? What up, though? Okay. For the one who's going to remain nameless, she going back to my name that I called her before, Alabaster. Okay, you use tomorrow. Alabaster, because you serve no purpose. They brought you in. They saw that you wasn't talking about crap. You pulled out receipts. You didn't use this as a learning thing. You tried to one up Mia. When y'all two are the new ones, y'all should like, okay, let's try to milk this and try to get us some more screen time. You didn't do that. So they quickly scooted your butt. Okay, we're finished with you at Alabaster. You can leave.
What else, Miss Bernice?
Candice. I'm gonna get these words right. I know I only got 2 minutes. Sunday, 2 minutes, right? It's still Sunday. Candice, perpetual hurt child. For the one who kept going on with accountability, it's taking accountability for your actions. And if your actions are wrong, you try to improve those so you won't do them again. Candice has done this over and over and over again. If it walk like a duck, it talk like a duck, act like it's a duck. Candice not changing. Candice don't want to change. But that means Candice have to grow up, and she have to look into herself and say, like, dang, it's something wrong with me. For me, if somebody say, like, that's if somebody trip over your shoe and they turn around like, ooh, I'm sorry, and then you pull out your gun and you shoot them. That's Candice's mouth. She go from 0 to 1,000 in less than a minute, and then there's no control of her. And then she sit back like, "Well, they shouldn't have did that to me." You overreacted to a situation, and you made it worse than it was. Calling Ashley husband an overseer, you calling her a slave. So you calling her a slave, you calling yourself a slave, because both of y'all are married to the same type of person. So let's stop acting like I didn't say that. It was taken out of context. How you gonna take that out of context? You called her a bed wench. We forgot about this?
Nope.
Okay, come on now. Let's not go there. Come on. And when she and even what she said about Kyle, that live was so hateful and so low down and dirty, it was ridiculous. But nobody want to say anything about it. You go for the jugular when it's not necessary. That's what they're talking about. And you never learn, because in your words, you don't do anything wrong. You on the defensive.
Yeah.
Come on now. You're 38 years old, baby. You're not 18. You're not 13. You're not 14. You're 38. Okay? You're knocking on 40's door. And she pull out that Kleenex, well, she's still traumatized from PTSD from getting bopped upside the head. Baby, I got robbed at gunpoint.
Mm.
And I'm not traumatized from that. And that happened a while back. But for you to keep pulling out that you so desperately hurt from that shake up, that wasn't a fight, it was a shake up. Because all the people around you instigating that, Robin and Giselle. And you better take Mia's what Mia said. You better watch your back because Mia telling you right. Because you're gonna be the target next season. Come on now.
Miss Bernice, as always, we appreciate you calling in.
Okay, Kempire. Now let me get off here so somebody else can go in there and say what they can say.
Thank you. Have a great
You're
night.
welcome. You too. Bye.
Miss Bernice, Miss Bernice. Oh my God. Backstage is okay. All right. Let me make sure I'm following this timer. Miss Adrian, I'm gonna bring you on up. What's going on, Miss Adrian?
Hey, Kempire, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good, good. Let me try to talk fast so I can get this out because I got to read Candace to Phil. Okay. So this whole thing for colorism, let me just start by saying this. From what I'm seeing, yes, okay, you can see my picture. Obviously, I'm a light-skinned woman. I completely understand. And I'm black. I'm not biracial, but I completely understand what Ashley is saying. Yes, there is light-skin privilege. It is very real. I know I have it in certain situations, especially when I find myself the only black person in a company of white people. So I know that that's very real. But with that being said, Candace is the one that's constantly making a separation between her and Ashley, and whatever the situation is with her skin color, she's the one that has an issue with Ashley's skin color because she said, well, I'm a black woman. Well, as a black woman, she's talking to Ashley like Ashley's not black. Like she's not really black. She's not black enough. That's the indication there. And then when she was talking about her hair, she's like, well, you have light skin privilege and a looser curl pattern. Ashley doesn't have a looser curl pattern. I have the same curl patterns Ashley does. Ashley's hair, if you don't put no product on that hair, that stuff will sit up there looking like a brown cotton ball. And that's what it looked like. She don't have no loose curl pattern. Candace sat there and made that up. And for her to still talking about she holding a grudge from that letter that Ashley wrote, girl, get over it. Y'all weren't even friends. Because that's when she was talking about Ashley wasn't serious about getting pregnant because she was drinking beer. Like people don't get pregnant when they drunk. That's when she was running around saying, now y'all weren't even friends when she wrote that letter like that. And then it's like Miss Bernice said about this bedwench thing. I don't think people really understand what a bedwench is. That you want to talk about colorism, like let's talk about it. That was a specific house slave. When you look at the slave auctions, like it will say, like age male $30, 25 female cook, 20 female bedwench. That was a specific position on the plantation. That was the one that was in the house that was getting awed by massa every night, and you threw that specific insult at her. That wasn't by accident for the so-called wordsmith. And that's why that's not okay. Because if Ashley would have called that girl field slave, Black Twitter would have exploded. So, and the whole thing about you. So they're both married to white men, but only Ashley's is massa. Look at the indicate. You know what I'm saying? And Ashley has never stated that girl's skin color. She can't indicate what she's so mad at. Ashley said, well, I can't help being light skinned. Ken's like, well, I can't help being dark. Ashley's never said anything in their shade. Ashley's never said anything about Candace's looks. Besides this little back and forth thing where they talk about each other's forehead. But she's never said anything about Candace's skin color. She's never gone there. So I don't understand what Candace is saying.
Mm.
And then I think she's very jealous of her, not because of Michael's, so great of a guy. He's an absolute creep. But I think she is jealous of what Michael can afford her because Chris can't do that. And then when she's talking about her lactating milk and her and they had a caller or somebody, wrote that question in. Why are you specifically making references about her postpartum body and her milk? Take your milk and go. What is that? What is that? That's not cool. I have 2 children. My first son was 8 pounds 3 ounces. My second son was 10 pounds 2 ounces. How dare you sit up there and make references about this woman's postpartum body just because everybody ain't shaped like a 12-year-old little boy? I'm about sick of this girl. And you know what I mean? So I just wanted to put that out there because that really triggered me. That you think it's okay to sit up there and refer to this girl as a house slave. That's not cool.
Yeah. Adrian, as always, we'd love it when you call in. So thank you so much.
Thank you, babe. Have a good one.
You
Bye-bye.
too. All right. Long line backstage, y'all. So let me reset the timer. Effie, I'm going to bring you up. What's going on? Effie?
Hi, Kempire. I'm so happy that I'm able to catch a live on Potomac. I'll be really quick here. So I do think that two things can be true at the same time. I do think that there is a little bit of colorism on the show. And what's interesting is I think within the Black community, it's very easy for us to identify racism, but because colorism is so subtle sometimes with like how you get treated based on your complexion, it's a little difficult for us to see it overtly. I don't think that Candice maybe should have been the one to like bring it up, because in the moment it did look like she was using that as an excuse to get away with some of her behavior. But I do think that the woman put all of the messiness on Candice, because the truth is Mia is just as messy as Candice. Ashley since season 1 was horrible. And it's like, I feel like people forget, like, you know, Ashley said some really horrible things and did really horrible things to the ladies. But I feel like this season, it's like Candice is kind of the villain. And don't get me wrong. Last season, I did not like her. I did not like the fight that she had with Monique. But this season, it feels like it's like they're putting all of the messiness on her and Wendy and making them to be like out to be the bad guys. And honestly, it was a little uncomfortable watching it. And because it kind of looked like aesthetically, like it's these 5 lighter skinned women, you know, ganging up on these 2 darker skinned women. And once again, I think that you can't really, you're going to look at it from a different lens, I think, based on your own personal experience. And then also the complexion, you know, of your skin. I think I think we need to kind of call out, like, we're all going to have our own biases with how we look at certain situations. I do think that the real villain, and I've said this so many times, the truth is we have all this energy for Candice or for Wendy, but we don't really have that energy for Giselle. Like, Giselle is the real, if you really want to be honest, Giselle is kind of the master puppeteer. And I just think it's so interesting that like no one ever calls her out. And I'm like, wait, what is happening? Like, Andy, do you not see what everyone is saying? Like, the truth is, like, Giselle is kind of the instigator for most of these situations, but because Candice's mouth is pretty vile at times, she gets called out as like the bad guy. And I just don't think it's fair, you know, as Black people. I feel like the hate that Candice is getting it's kind of gross. Like, you know, like people are saying death threats on her. She needs to get beat up. Like, we shouldn't be continuing to like condone violence against someone just because we don't like them. And I agree. Her mouth
and I know, you know, we 100%.
No, that's why I love this channel. That's why
we 100% do not condone that at all.
We keep it cute here.
Yeah, it's, of course.
We keep it cute, but that's really all I wanted to say. I think that, you know, colorism is a thing. I think we need to recognize it. It's going to be interesting to see what happens next year. They can't continue to push the brown girls out, because let's be honest, they keep pushing the brown girls out. If you're really paying attention, it's like every season, the brown girl is like the one who's getting all the smoke. So I really hope that like next season, you know, the dynamics change a bit, because honestly, I love the show. And I love the show more because of your channel, because like, you know, we make little jokes here and there and it's cute, but watching it, it's becoming a little uncomfortable.
Yeah,
that's all I have to say.
Effie, thank you so much for calling in and sharing your thoughts.
You're welcome. Have a wonderful night.
You too. Bye. All right. All right, we have a long line. Okay, but you know, I hate to stop people when they have such a good point and they're sharing their thoughts. So, but I'm trying to. Wait, hold on, Anthony. Thank you, Kempire, the ghetto-free environment. I can't. Judgy Justice, thank you so much for the super chat. I stand with Candice in my comments. Andy let the BS answers slide, but grilled her. It's giving favoritism and mean girl vibes. 5 versus 1 is unfair. Hashtag Queen Candice. Well, I'm glad you put that in a super chat. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Sheila, I'm going to bring you up for a quick comment. What's going on, Sheila?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Is there a problem with the sound? Because I have my earbuds in, and I know you mentioned earbuds before. Oh, okay, fantastic. So I wanted to address the Ashley and Candice colorism conversation. I actually thought that should have been addressed to Giselle and Robin, and maybe even more specifically Robin, because Giselle seems to deflect everything and they don't hold her accountable. Um, Ashley is the one woman who has worn her hair natural from the time that she arrived on this show, and she is an OG of this show. And one of your callers, I think her name is Adrian, she mentioned about Ashley's texture of hair. In the first season, Giselle and Robin, when they met Ashley, they commented on her hair, criticized her hair, and it was brought up in the first reunion. I think Ashley gets a lot of backlash because of her husband, and I don't think that it's fair to target her. And I think Candice is the biggest culprit of that, because I think fans follow the lead of whomever their favorites happen to be. And I feel like a lot of her anger should be directed at Giselle and Robin. Colorism is definitely an issue in this show. The first season that Monique entered the show, Giselle made a comment about her hazel contacts, and a lot of people forget that. And for me, that was a thing of, because of her skin tone and having lighter colored eyes. There's no issue with her, they call themselves the green-eyed bandits, but because she has a brown skin tone, then all of a sudden she must be wearing contacts. We've seen the same issue with Kenya over in Atlanta. So for me, that was a big issue. Oh, also one other thing I wanted to mention, and I'm sure that she did not mean it in this way, but I think she's one of your moderators, and I agree with a lot of things that she says. But Danielle commented about Ashley does not have the best hair. And that is another issue in the Black community when it comes to hair textures and kinkier versus looser curl patterns. And that kind of like made me jump back a bit, because it's like one is not better or best. They're just different. Once again, with Giselle and Robin, I want to remind people about the first season with Katie and how they treated Katie. I personally think that the colorism issues go deeper than dark skin versus light skin in this show. I think that Giselle and Robin constantly feel the need to prove their Blackness because they are so light and because of the color of their eyes. And if you go back to the first season, they both speak about how everyone knows that they're Black when they start to speak. And I think that they spent their lives trying to prove their Blackness, and they try and challenge every other woman when it comes to that. When it comes to Wendy, I think that there is a jealousy issue. And I was not a fan of Wendy during the first season. And I do think that she changed from the 4 degrees and call me Dr. Wendy. So when the season first started and they were saying, oh, but we're seeing a change in your behavior, I accepted that. But the moment that they brought her marriage into the discussion and then tried to say that she changed her body in order to please a man, that's where I started to have a problem. And Giselle has attacked people's marriages from season 1. She attacked Charisse's marriage with Eddie. She then went after Karen with Mr. Blue Eyes, then went after Ray and accused Ray of wanting another woman in Potomac. Like, she has literally gone after every single marriage. And I respected Wendy for standing up to her and saying, you will not do this with my marriage. Nobody's marriage is perfect, but you are not going to make my marriage fodder, especially when you couldn't keep yours together. And especially with all of the dirt that is out there about her and her ex-husband. Like, it's just, I feel like they are pointing the darts at the wrong person, and Giselle just keeps skating by. And then Robin is the one that is like her little sidekick, defending her constantly. And the one thing that I was concerned by watching the first 2 episodes of the reunion, I'm afraid that Wendy is becoming that way with Candice. Because this entire reunion, she's been interjecting every time. People aren't speaking to her. They're speaking to Candice, and she's interjecting and answering for Candice.
Yeah.
So
Sheila,
that's basically what I wanted to say. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you calling in. Thank you so much, Sheila.
Thank you.
Bye. Guys, we have over 1,100 people watching. Be sure to like the video if you haven't liked it already, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and turn on that notification bell. Also, shout out to our mods in the chat that are holding the chat down. Appreciate you all doing that as well. And also be sure to join our membership here on the Kempire Daily YouTube channel. There are multiple levels. You can get more details at teamkempire.com. Let's get to the next caller. I'm not going to even say the name because we already said we're not talking about this person anymore. Shantae.
Live from her boudoir in the DMV.
Yeah, the time has started.
Okay. So, okay, Wendy and the colorism issue. Definitely liked what you said when you said I want to see that you want to see her address this directly to Giselle, because like somebody mentioned, the only thing I can think that it might be is when we go back to the last season's reunion when she said, well, when you call somebody aggressive and this is a Black woman or a dark-skinned woman, that can be offensive. And we got to keep in mind, Wendy is a mother of 3 kids, one of which is a daughter. Beautiful little chocolate baby girl. She probably has in her mind, and Wendy may not have directly experienced it against her, but she definitely may have witnessed it. She knows what color, we all know what colorism is. So she's probably imagining and cringing about how her daughter is going to see this, witness it, navigate through it, and God forbid, possibly experience it. So it's got her feeling some kind of way.
Good point.
I would like you, I would definitely like to see her actually come right out and say it to Giselle, because it is a little bit weird that we're finally seeing this play out like this on this particular part of the franchise. So like last year, Andy didn't kind of really seem to know where to go with it. He didn't really seem to know how to say anything or address it. And so even if they don't directly say anything about it on camera, I do think she just needs to come right and let her know, look, you have said some things that, I don't know if the word I would use is triggered in me, but you said some things, Giselle, that can definitely at most or at best be misconstrued as being colorist. Because let's look back at when this show first came on, and somebody said it last week. When we saw these women, all but one, were all very light-skinned, and that's what most of us were talking about. Dang, all these light-skinned women, this is what's representing us. And again, even though these women know each other and are friends, it was still one of those things that kind of just set off a tick in everybody. And another thing to flip the script, I noticed, because I'm not going to mention any content creators' names, I try to not do that. But I can remember 2 particular content creators on YouTube who reviewed the show when this show started for season 1. Other than the fact that they were just observing that, dang, we got all these light-skinned women in the cast, they were already trying to peg who was going to be that girl that thought she was cute just because she was light-skinned. So it's kind of, there were some things from both ways that were just kind of a lot of preconceived notions that I don't want to say necessarily hurt things, but it put that out there from the very beginning that some people could possibly think some things were going to be colorism. And I don't ever want to diminish how anybody feels. So please, nobody in the chat think that that's what I'm trying to do. I'm not. I'm saying that because it's such a thing, it's such a rampant thing, and it seems like it's never diminished or going away. It seems like we're just going to knee jerk every time we see a conflict. So I'm wondering if Wendy is just really, like I said, because she's the mother of a beautiful little girl, I'm wondering if this is a part of just, like I said, her not understanding how she's going to try to navigate that conversation with her little girl as she gets older, because she's going to see it. I mean, we're seeing it now. We see how all these dusty rappers try to big up their preferences. We see it in the media. Yeah, we see it in the media and how colorism is perpetuated. It's always been a thing. So we have to, be careful to be sensitive to how people feel, even if we don't necessarily think that they're, right about what they're saying.
Yeah.
Candice, on the other hand, she's just I can't even say she's knee-jerking. She's just throwing shit out there, pardon my French, throwing stuff to the wall and sees what sticks, because I think she just wants everybody to just go against Ashley. And we have enough to go against Ashley without colorism being put in the equation. Like, you don't ever have to tell me to not like Ashley. With colorism taken out of the equation, with Michael taken out of the equation,
damn,
Ashley has said and done enough to make me feel like, you know what, pardon my French again, girl, you a shit stain. So
Lord. All right.
There's that.
All right, Shantae, thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate it. Shantae's the best. Thank you so much for the super chat. On every housewife show, a housewife gets unfairly criticized by fans and another housewife who gets away with bad behavior. It can be colorism, but it's also the housewives world. Good point. Good point. Let me just get to these other super chats before I take callers. Effie, thank you so much for the super chat and for calling in. She says Giselle is a better chef than Chris. She's always stirring the pot with her messiness. Good point, Samira. Thank you so much for the super chat. And I'll show you at the end of the super chats. Candice is not shady at all. She's verbally and emotionally abusive. She cuts deep. Remember her saying her husband was just like his dad? I mean, look, everyone's going to always have a different perspective on whether or not Candice goes below the belt, lower than the other ladies. So I don't think we're ever going to have everyone agree, ever, on anything. All right. Let me next caller. I'm going to bring you up, Spiritually Imperfect. What's going on?
Hi, Kempire. Can you hear me? I have on my headphones. Is it good?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so I'm from Brooklyn, so I just want to say this is my first time. I love you, love you, love you. But I want to go to this thing first with Candice and Ashley and everybody and the colorism thing. The black community, this, the black community that. We have to be real careful about what we say is colorism, because somebody could be a piece of dirt, any color. Okay, and then they try to, with Giselle and Robin and Karen, negate that these are still black women. They're still black women, no matter their color of their skin. So to keep saying, well, just because they're light skin, like they're other than black women. And
they're going to be treated that way in the world.
Right. Is there colorism? Yes, but I don't see where they pointed out any colorism in it. When the thing happened with Monique, when Candice called to all kind of ghetto rat trash, hood rats, all type of everything. Now, was that perpetrating colorism? Because Candice go real low when it comes to talking about other women, calling Ashley a slave. Was that colorism going the other way? So I find it ironic that everybody's mad about Giselle and Rob and saying it's colorism, but it don't come the opposite way when it comes to Wendy. Is Wendy being aggressive and doing too much now? Yes, because at this point, I'm like, what is the beef about now? Why are we still going at this with Giselle right now? Why is it still a thing with Robin right now? Can we get past this issue that y'all talking about right now? Because it makes no sense. It's dry, it's boring, and it's giving me like I don't even want to watch the rest of the reunion at all.
Wow.
Because it's I don't really care for Nicki Minaj too much, but
I already know some people are like,
yeah, and I don't want her to bring up colorism either because she got her own issues with that. So I'm just saying. Besides everything, all I know is she got Candice got that bag wig on and that Whoville nose, and somebody need to read her for filth about that small tiny boy body, and that's what Mia need to do. Mia's gonna be Mia.
Shame. We already had enough of that on the show.
But Mia is going to be Mia. I'm not even mad with her. She owns it, and she be unbothered, and that's what Giselle does too. They sit unbothered. That's why it looks like they're getting treated different. They let it blow past. Wendy and Candice keeps fighting it and fighting it and fighting it and fighting instead of letting it go. So it just looks really bad at this point.
Yeah.
But I think we need to start addressing what is really colorism when it comes to our community, because everything can't be colorism. Just because she talk about her hair or this or somebody's feet or whatever it is, it's not all colorism. You could just be bad, and Candice just have a raggedy mouth. She does. She just have a raggedy mouth.
That is such a perfect name. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you so much. Have a nice night.
You too. All right, we have a long line. All right, first of all, I'm gonna have to remove this link because y'all gonna keep calling in, which I appreciate. I do appreciate, but look, it's getting late. I have a big day tomorrow. A lot of things are happening here on the channel. First of all, of course, we're going to recap Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. But first, I'll be dropping by down with Jason for our weekly collaboration with him and Adam, where we recap Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Also, at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, we will be doing a recap on Grace Report's channel, Real Housewives of Potomac. As you know, we get together every single week and talk about these issues with those ladies. So be sure to be there tomorrow, 1:30 p.m. Eastern for that. All right, let's get to the callers. Sheila. Oh, no, Sheila, you still backstage, girl? Tanya, I'm going to bring you up. What's going on, Tanya?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm well.
I wasn't expecting to get called. Okay, so I have a couple things I want to touch on. Number one, yeah, sure, Mia is a liar. That's fine. Just don't tell her anything, whatever. I think she gets away with it because she's kind of like a ditz. So she's a little cutie patootie. So she dances and she, I didn't mean to, I had the long gowns, whatever. So next, let's see. Ascala needs to go. She's boring, and I feel like she wants to I guess be friends with the vets that are on the show. She just seems like she goes with the wind. If somebody doesn't like somebody, she's going to talk about them. And I really don't like that in somebody. It reminds me of middle school. Also, let's see, Wendy. Okay. So I guess you can't call Wendy aggressive because she's dark skinned. Okay. Let's just say that she's something that rhymes with aggressive. Okay. So when she first got on the show, her and Ashley started arguing about the baby and all that stuff and not bringing it on the trip. And essentially, she started yelling at Ashley. Now, don't get me wrong, Ashley has a mouth on her, but she was yelling at her. She was getting up out her seat, yelling at her. Okay, so I don't like Wendy. I just don't. I don't know. I just, some people don't like people. Also, Candice, she called Ashley a bedwench. She called her a slave. She threw a knife at her. She also threw food at Mia first. But I guess we can't bring any of that up because I guess we're colorists, right? Also, she also told that one blogger, the one that was on, I think he was on his deathbed, that he should die. She also called him a homophobic slur. But don't bring any of that up. I guess since I'm light skinned, I can't say any of that. Also, Giselle is very, very messy. We get it. I get it. But she's not going to go back and forth with you. If you saw, she was actually getting into it with, I'm sorry, she wasn't getting into it with Wendy. Wendy was coming at her throat and she was sitting there drinking her mojito. She was scared. She didn't have nothing to say. She's not going to start the fight.
No.
So just leave her alone. Just whatever. Giselle, she keeps the show going. Also, Robin also is light skinned. I don't like her. She can go. Bye. She brings nothing to the table. That's fine. And I don't know. I just feel like Candice is abusive. Honestly, it's past the point of fun shade, light shade, even if it was hurtful shade, but it's a different level. You're still asking people if they're going to whip your ass. What didn't you learn? Do you have any more sticky notes? Do you? That's all I had to say.
Tanya, thank you so much for calling in.
Of course. You have a blessed night.
You too. Candy, thank you so much for the super chat. Ashley said Monique was drunk driving wrecked, and that's why she lost her dog, a doggone baby. Are y'all serious? Look, no one said Ashley was innocent. All right, okay. All right. T-Flow, I'm going to bring you up. What's going on, T-Flow?
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Great. Okay, I'm going to make this quick. I just want to touch on Candice because I feel like nobody says this on the show or in the reunion, and I wish somebody would say this. Candice always makes it seem like it's just her words. I'm just using my words and everyone's attacking me. But what anyone fails to point out, it's like it's not just her words, it's her delivery and it's her physical posture. She will get in people's faces. She will ask them to drag her. She'll touch their hair. She'll throw things at them. Like, it's not just her being, a wordsmith. She's actually, I would call some of the things that she does aggressive in the way that she approaches the other ladies. And then she acts surprised when she gets that aggression back. If she was able to like calmly deliver her reads like in a Phaedra-esque fashion, I don't think she would be getting as much backlash as she's getting. It's because of the way that she delivers things. She gets too agitated. She can't just calmly read. Like, some of the things she says, they really are like very clever. And I'm just like, she does have some quick wit, but she gets so agitated and she starts yelling and she gets in people's faces and it just ruins it. And it just escalates the situation to another level that it doesn't have to go to. And I think that's why she gets so much backlash.
Yeah. And that's it, T-Flow. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you.
Have a good night. Beautiful smile and everything, Miss T-Flow. Thank you for sharing that. We need a little light and smile. Look, love it. Okay. All right. Shout out to everyone that's in the chat and shout out to our replay crew. I appreciate you being a part of the conversation as well. Be sure to share your thoughts. As I always say, I'm not moderating adults. So if you go back and forth with people in the comments, that's your own adult fault. Let's continue to have the conversation. It doesn't matter if you don't agree. We can have the conversation. It's also a reality show. We do not know these people. Anyways. All right, let's get to these last callers. Hold on, let me just take this off. All right. Tawana, I'm going to bring you up. What's going on, Tawana?
Hi, Ken. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. So this is Tawana from Detroit. Now, I made a list because I only get 2 minutes. So I gotta get
go ahead.
Okay, so number one, I feel like all the girls are hypocrites. Talking about, it's just fun shade. Candice cuts too deep. You cannot tell me that saying that Giselle has a fiery boss is fun shade. That's not fun shade. You know she's a single woman out here trying to get a man, and you just said on national TV that this lady got a fiery boss. She may never get a man now. That's not fun shade. That's something to be glad about. I'm trying to get a man. You on national TV telling people I got a fiery boss. Second, I just want to say about people keep saying that Dr. Wendy needs to get over what Giselle and Robin said about her husband. No. This was not supposed to be Dr. Wendy's storyline. Her storyline was supposed to be her change her career and start her business. They made this Dr. Wendy storyline when they brought that rumor up. So since y'all want to talk about it, we gonna keep talking about it. Because y'all made this my storyline, not me. This is what y'all wanted to talk about, so let's talk about it. That's how I feel about that.
Okay.
Now, Candice crying. I know people says that she needs to stop crying and all of that, but I feel like Candice is one of those people that when she says that she's your friend, she means that and she connects with you. And I feel like she felt that these girls were really her friends, and for them to turn on her really hurt her.
Yeah.
So she's a hard person, but she's also a very sensitive person. She really felt like, what's her name? The old lady? Karen?
Oh.
Was her friend.
Karen Uger.
Yes, was her friend. Sorry, I'm getting a little nervous. Was her friend that she even had her talk at her first wedding anniversary party, and for Karen to call Bravo on her and say, "Oh, she's got mental problems, she needs help," that really hurt her.
No.
So people saying that she needs to stop crying and get over it, like everybody's got feelings, and Mia, she's just cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Like she is a liar. She's a liar. Every time she get on camera, she got a new story. She's poor thing. I'm just gonna pray for her.
Tawana, I appreciate you calling in.
Okay. Thank you, Ken. Good night.
Bye. Okay, Doll Baby. Oh, I got some. Thank you so much for the super chat. Doll Baby says it's just like talking smack when you're playing spades. Y'all know I don't play spades. Don't take my black card from me, please. Let me get to these super chats before I talk to everyone else. Mapalo, thank you so much for the super chat. Mia got and touched Candice and Wendy. Yes, I saw the clip. Y'all were tweeting me with the clip. Robin got in Monique and Ashley's face. Why aren't you calling them aggressive? Are you talking about me? I ain't calling anybody aggressive. Okay, Sheila, hold on. Sheila says, apologies for not dropping. It's all right, Sheila. It's all right. We had closed the door. Look, we had closed the door to the backstage anyway. Apologies for not dropping out. I normally just stay in the background and only now figuring out the super chat thing. Thank you so much, Sheila. We appreciate you calling in and sharing your thoughts. And Doll Baby says I want my shimmy Kempire. Wait. And shimmy. All right. Thank you all for the super chats. Hold on. I think I just missed one. Did I miss one? No, I did. Okay. I got to everybody. All right. I'm going to take these last 3 callers, guys. We have almost 1,200 people watching this, and I appreciate you guys taking the time out to watch our recap of the Real Housewives of Potomac Reunion Part 2. We still have 2 more parts. Don't forget, every Sunday at 8:25 p.m. Eastern, we watch the Real Housewives of Potomac exclusively on my TikTok together. So you're hearing commentary. I'm pausing. Of course, we don't watch any commercials. So be sure to follow me on TikTok. Everything's at TheKempire. And follow me on my Instagram. And of course, like us on Facebook. And don't forget, a new episode of my podcast came out over the weekend. So be sure to check that out as well. You're getting different content on different platforms. So follow me on all. All right, Jessica, I'm going to bring you up. What's going on, Jessica?
Hi, Kempire. All right. So the woman that shall not be named, in the words of the Backstreet Boys, has got to go. And Mia, oh my gosh, why are you lying? But we love you and you're so cute. Even if you do have big feet. Not shaming. And Candice, oh my goodness. My dear Candice. You have got to take responsibility for what comes out your mouth. Seriously. You say you're a wordsmith, and I am, in the words of Britney Spears' post, I'm sorry, not sorry. Oh my goodness. Why can't you take people's advice? I'm so sorry, dear. And that's it. In the words of the Backstreet Boys.
Oh, and then it went out. Jessica, we appreciate you calling in and all the music references. Queen, thank you so much for the super chat. Queen says, I'm not even stressing on the mess these women are giving. My mental health is very important. Team no favorites. Come on through, Queen. First of all, thank you for the super chat. And thank you for exactly how I'm feeling. I'm going to read this again. I am not even stressing on the mess these women are giving. My mental health is very important. Team no favorites. Oh, that is a word on this Sunday. Janaki, thank you so much for the super chat. And that also deserved a shimmy. Thank you, Queen. Janaki says, Candid just overreacts. Okay. Let me see. Thank you so much, Anthony, for the super chat. I want a shirtless shimmy. Ain't happening. You trying to have them cut me off of TikTok and YouTube? But thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate you supporting the channel. I can't with y'all. April says shimmy. All right, Shady Gal's backstage. Shady Gal, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. I really just overall for this RHOP 4-part reunion, y'all really could have just made this 3. This could have been 3. Like, come on. Because this whole episode we spent talking to baby boo Candice and Wendy. When Zen win, that ain't Zen. Okay. There can be 2 truths at the same time. There's colorism clearly because they always get rid of the dark-skinned child on the show. But also, maybe you are aggressive, boo-boo. maybe that when somebody's reading you, you don't know how to sit there and have a poker face. Because when they brought up your husband, girl, if you had a knife, you would have cut Giselle from her forehead to her toes easily with no sympathy. You might have gone to jail, sis. Candice, you chose to talk about this girl's mama. You need to, Karen them for once. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm agreeing with Giselle. At least they go at each other. They stick to talking about each other. You've never seen Giselle bring up Karen's daughter or her mama or her parents. And neither have you seen Karen do that to Giselle. You chose to talk about her mama. Your mama broke. And when you saw that it stuck, when you saw that it got a reaction out of Mia, you did it again. You did it twice. That you was doing that on purpose because you had to find some way to get at her. Because at the end of the day, if we wanted to read you, if she wanted to read you, clearly she could have read you for your broke down husband. She could have read you for your mommy issues mommy, your messy mama who went around talking to all your co-workers about how crappy your husband is. She could have roasted you from hither to the tutor, from the rooter to the tutor, and she didn't. Mia, please stop lying. Please. Please. Girl, like your theme song is Why the Blank You Lying, because that's all you do. And you in a size 12? Whoo, child, fee, fi, fo, fun for real.
Oh my God! Stop.
She could really stump a curve. And Candice, for real, she could stump Candice's whole forehead out to make it like a normal forehead.
All right,
Poor Mia.
Shady Gal, thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you. I hope we have a more interesting episode next week because I'm not gonna lie, I'm sick of talking about Candice and her childish ways. Like, dog, she's a child. She's a child. We get it. Goo goo gaga, boo boo. Goo goo gaga.
Thank you, Shady Gal. All right. Thank you so much for the super chat and a shimmy. I know one thing. Candice better not go anywhere or I'm done with Bravo for good. Hashtag Team Candice. Because Andy said in the reunion, why am I waking up to tweets about people asking me to fire you? And I've seen those tweets. All right. Let me get to this other super chat. Queen, thank you so much for another super chat. Shady Gal is very accurate. Stop disrespecting our suffering moms. It's painful. Okay. Vanessa, I'm going to bring you up. What's going on, Vanessa?
Hey, Kempire. I love you. Okay. I'm calling from Cali where it's 92 degrees and the freaking gas is $5 a gallon. So let me get that out of the way first.
I appreciate the extra information.
Killing us softly here. Okay, I'm gonna be really quick. I don't have any favorites with Potomac. I think they're all equally the same. They're all a little phony with it. They all get at each other. We're just gonna highlight Miss Candice. The reason why I think Candice gets so much heat is because Candice says some things like, example, with Mia's mom, when she said your mama, it touched everybody because we all knew that her mom was going through, drugs and rehab. And maybe Candice really didn't know it, but we took it as she did know it because if her mom was like, let's say a normal mom, we wouldn't have thought anything about it, your mama. But that was the reason why Candice got so much heat for that. And then she did talk about that blogger and he wasn't sick. And she told him to go to hell. And then he ended up getting sick and he did pass away. And she did make a homophobic remark about him. And I didn't like that either. So Candice just, against the girls, I think they're all equal opportunity offenders. But Candice says some things that just really go like really deep. And I think that's why people really get mad at her. As far as colorism, yeah, I can see it. It's not as blatant for me. Look at me. I'm a brown skin girl, right? But I'm just saying, I really don't see so much blatant colorism. I really just think it's Candice's attitude. She definitely needs to grow up and she definitely has some issues. And I think she's making her mama look bad because isn't her mother like a therapist? Like what happened? I'm not going I'm not going to go see your mama to get help.
But Vanessa, sidebar, is Candice making her mom look bad or is her mom making herself look bad?
All right, good point. Kempire, they both making each other look bad. If I wanted to go to a therapist, I would not go to her mama because Exhibit A is Candice and she is a wreck.
Oh.
So start at home, mother. I don't know how she made money. Well, I'm going to leave that alone. But I just think they're all equally offensive to each other, period. And I agree with that last caller. They should have cut it down to 3 parts. They're milking it. We didn't need 4.
Always.
Get a little redundant. And let me say, I like Wendy. I like her in this reunion. She's giving it to Giselle, and nobody ever does that. So I'm kind of proud of Wendy. And Wendy's a little shady too. You know, we could see shade in everybody, but Candice, I don't think she deserves to be fired. But she just really has to calm down with her mouth.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you so much for calling in, and I hope you're staying cool in that 90-degree weather.
92, Kempire.
It's what is the temperature here? I think it's like 40-something degrees here in New York.
92. And then where are we going to go with $5 a gallon with gas? We go around the corner. Can't even get to the beach. Anyway, thank you, Kempire. I can't wait. Salt Lake City.
Stay tuned. We will be going live. I'll be talking about Salt Lake City twice tomorrow. We'll be going live at 12 p.m. Eastern on Down with Jason's channel to talk about Salt Lake City. But of course, you guys will have an opportunity to call in and share your thoughts because we'll be going live later in the day on my channel talking about Salt Lake City. So stay tuned, Vanessa. Thank you so much.
Bye. Good night.
Bye. Let me just get these super chats. Spiritually Imperfect. Thank you so much for the super chat. She says, Can we start a petition so Andy can run Miss Samuels her check? She obviously was an absent housewife this season. They did talk about her quite a few times. Times this season. Hold on, let me get to this other super chat. Sonia, thank you so much for the super chat. Sonia, is that your picture? Thank you for your service. Candice is sanctimonious in her behavior and is very off-putting. She checks many boxes for covert narcissist personality disorder. Thank her mom. Ooh, bloop. I think that deserves a bloop. Okay, last caller, guys. Again, we have almost 1,200 people in the room. Like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting the channel. And the reason why people say this all the time when they're live is because so many times we watch things that we like, we forget to support by just liking the video. Thank you to everyone that sent in a super chat. Thanks to everyone that's called in. Natavia, is it Natavia? Or I think it's Natavia. Natavia's called in before. Natavia, I'm going to bring you up. What's going on, Natavia?
Hey, it is. It's Natavia. Thank you, Kempire.
Thank you.
And I'm from Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, we got a lot of people from Detroit.
I heard the girl Tawana
and Miss Bernice. I think I might need to come to
You
Detroit.
know what? I always had this thing when I see her on live, and I'm like, she just seems so familiar to me. I probably know her.
I might have to do a meet and greet in Detroit because it's
right. Come on.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just had a couple things.
Go ahead.
So, I think that Karen was Candice's friend. Like, she just told her what she needed to hear. She didn't tell her what she wanted to hear. She told her what she needed to hear. She was her friend more than anybody up there, including Giselle and Robin, because again, they only supported her because they was against Monique. Because you see clearly, they see that it is reasons why people would get physical this season. So I feel like Karen really was her friend. And I don't like how people like Karen told Bravo, did you hear the stuff that Karen said that she told her? Like, that stuff was horrific. And for Candice to hold Karen in that high regard that she held her in, she should have never said those things to her. Because she acted like Karen was really like her mom. It was like she looked up to Karen like her mom. And Karen loved Candice, and I think she still do. But Candice is too much, and she thinks she know everything like a little kid. And that stuff that she said to her was not warranted, and it was horrible. Just because she wasn't picking your side does not mean that she was against you. That does not mean that she was against you. She was not against you. She told Monique she was wrong, and she told you were wrong. She told you what you did was wrong, and she also told Monique the same thing. Right. And Candice, you was not Monique's friend. Like, you could not have been her friend for real if Giselle and them felt comfortable to talk about that stuff, that plan in front of you. You could not have been her friend. They would not have felt comfortable talking about that stuff in front of you if you was really Monique's friend. So you was never her friend. And for you to even go and not tell her that, because even if you was just pretending with Giselle and them like you didn't rock with Monique like that, you would have still went and told your friend, like, girl, they said this and this and that. You wouldn't have went and told Karen and then Karen go and tell Monique. Like that wouldn't happen in no friend group if you was really her friend. And the stuff that she say, like they say, all of them do hit below the belt and stuff like that. But like Giselle was saying, and I hate to agree with her, but what she was saying is when her and Karen was having their back and forth banter, they was across the table from each other. They said their things in a very calm way. They said whatever they had to say, below the belt or not. Karen just didn't say that she was in Sing Sing and had a hot box. All that stuff. Giselle said that Karen was an alcoholic and all that. Robin, you told Ascala that Karen was an alcoholic. So what do it matter? Just because she drink and get drunk don't mean that she an alcoholic. And Candice, you are in people's face too much. So that rat-tat-tat-tat or whatever Wendy was saying, that's what you do. That's what you do. And that will cause for somebody to get riled up, because when Wendy was, if Giselle would have had that same energy with Wendy when Wendy was having her talk, it would have probably been a fight. But Giselle didn't give her that energy. She just sat there like a bump on the log. And Wendy read her for filth. But if Giselle would have tried to talk crap back and got like Candice did, it would have got physical probably. Wendy would have got up and got in her butt or whatever the case may be. But don't nobody else do all of that stuff. Even with Mia, that mama stuff I don't think really bothered her. It bothered the other ladies. And she didn't get a reaction out of Mia about the mama stuff. She got a reaction from the other ladies. So she felt like she was trying to impress them or try to show out in front of those ladies and kept going and going and going. Either it was that or she knew about Mia's mama and was trying to poke at her and get a reaction.
Even after she found out about Mia's mom, she said your mama again. So.
Again. Even after she said, yeah, just I mean, if we talking junk to each other, let's just keep it at each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, she don't care about you talking junk. And don't you say whatever you want to say about me. We can go back and forth. Like, just don't bring my mama in it, because she not bringing her dusty mama in it. So that's just the end of the day. Like, and they all can go in on her and her mama, but they don't. Like, they don't.
Okay. All right. Natavia, I appreciate you calling in. Have a great rest of your evening.
You too. Bye, guys.
Woo! Another fantastic Real Housewives of Potomac reunion recap here on the channel. As always, for those that are watching the replay of this, be sure to let me know your thoughts. It doesn't matter your opinion. Everyone has a right to your opinion. We don't delete comments here unless they're incredibly derogatory. And it has to be beyond the fiery pits of hell. Because all you're going to talk about me, but guess what? I'm too busy to care. Just saying. Too busy to care. Guys, don't forget, you missed a couple of videos that I posted earlier today. So be sure to check that out. Let me know your thoughts on them. Don't forget to like the video. We have over almost 1,200 people watching. Like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting the channel. Check out all the information in the description of this video on how you can support, and also some of our past recaps as well, because those have been just as fun. Shout out to my moderators for keeping the chat a light and fun conversation. Let's continue that conversation. Next week, we will be doing the same thing. Don't forget, tomorrow, busy day here on the channel, but also busy because we'll be on Grace Report at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, on Down with Jason at 12 p.m. Eastern. So be sure to check that out. And I'll see you guys later. Thank you all for being here. Thank you to everyone that sent in a super chat. Shout out to our Team Kempire and Royal Court members, and shout out to everyone that called in. All right. Logan says, Kempire, aka Giselle 2.0, too busy to care. Yes, I'm definitely giving you Giselle energy. I am deflecting. It's okay, guys. It's all right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you. All right, guys, I'm gonna go rest up because we do have a busy day tomorrow. And that's it. That is it. Have a great night, everyone.